Welcome to CryptoWise, a couple of wise guys talking crypto. Hello, CryptoWisers. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Milton, and as always, I will be your captain for this episode. Today is a super exciting episode because I'm going to be looking at one of my favorite Hail Mary plays in crypto. And just in case you don't know what a Hail Mary is, it is a term from football. It's when there's only seconds on the clock, you're down, you have the whole field that you have to get down to, and you're just going to throw the ball as hard as you can and see if someone can catch it. It's called a Hail Mary. Let's look at the most famous one ever. Here it is, Doug Flutie coming back. Oh, he's scrambling. Is he going to? There it is, the Hail Mary pass of all Hail Marys. He got it. The crowd goes wild. That, my friends, is what is known as a Hail Mary pass or a miracle pass. And that was the great Doug Flutie in 1984 doing his. And if you can do a Hail Mary as good as Mr. Doug Flutie just did there, then you too might get your face on a cereal box. But we are not talking football on this channel. We talk crypto. So what is a Hail Mary in crypto? Well, it's the same deal. It's high risk, but really high reward. The odds of this play working are very, 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 very small. But if they work, the rewards are great. Face on a cereal box, great, people. And so today I am going to reveal to you my very favorite Hail Mary play in crypto right now. But before I do that, let me quickly talk to the newbies out there. If you are new to the channel, would you please do Uncle Milty a favor? That's me. Would you please gently tap on the like, the subscribe, and the notification button? That way, you'll be a certified CryptoWiser, and YouTube will let you know every time we publish a video. So don't be shy. Become a subscriber, become a CryptoWiser, and let's enjoy this next bull run together. Okay, enough of that. Let's jump right in. What is Milty's #1 Hail Mary play in crypto right now? To be a true Hail Mary in crypto, #1 rule is it has to be a hugely ambitious project. And there are no more ambitious projects than the platform projects. Those are the ones aiming to compete with Ethereum. If you've been watching this channel, you already know that I agree with everyone out there. Ethereum is king. It's not going anywhere. I also love me some Polkadot. I think if any other platform is going to compete with Ethereum in terms of size and influence, that's going to be Polkadot. But what if another platform out there could, if not compete with Ethereum, even take some of its market share and eventually work in tandem with Ethereum? Well, then that project would be huge. Don't you agree? You CryptoWisers who have been in crypto for a while, you know there have been plenty of so-called Ethereum killers. Anyone remember EOS of a couple years ago? Okay. Uncle Milty doesn't usually fall for these projects. I try to stay away from them. I bow down to Ethereum. I have a huge crypto crush on Polkadot, but other than that, I have stayed away from any other platforms. I just don't see them competing. But in the last few months, I have been seduced by another platform, not because I think it's a sure thing. I think it's a huge risk, but I also see such huge potential that I have been seduced into buying myself a little bag, just in case it ends up being a Doug Flutie Hail Mary pass for the ages. And that project is Elrond. No, not that Elrond. This Elrond. The Elrond network. And yes, I'm pretty sure they took their name from that Elrond because, well, they named their virtual machine Arwen. So it doesn't take a genius or a super Lord of the Rings fan to put that one together. Elrond has been around for a while, but they have made big strides this year. And yes, they claim to be a more scalable, a faster, and essentially a better Ethereum. And even if that's true, does it mean that they can compete with Ethereum? Well, no. But there is a lot to like about Elrond. And yes, they might be the next EOS, but if they can capture even a small slice of the Ethereum marketplace, this project has huge room for growth. Let's have a quick look at price and tokenomics. Okay, if you've been following the project for a while, you know that Elrond and the EGLD token was actually before the ERD token. In the last couple of months, they switched from ERD to EGLD, where 1,000 ERD is now worth 1 EGLD. So let's look at the ERD chart just quickly to have a sense where it came from. As I said, the project's been around for a while. It launched in 2019, and it basically did absolutely nothing for a year. And then in the last few months during the DeFi spike, because its main net was about to launch, there was huge hype around it. It went all the way above 0.025 cents. There was a lot of hype, a lot of excitement around this project. When they switched over to EGLD, it was essentially at that price. Times it by 1,000 and it was still over $20. But in the last couple of months, the post mainnet launch hype died. And as is so often the case after the mainnet launch, the post hype dump happens. And that is what has happened to Elrond. It is now sitting at $7.71. But of course, more important than looking at the price is looking at the market cap. And Elrond has a market cap right now of just over $111 million. And that for me is why this could be a great Hail Mary project, which is slightly different than a moonshot, because a moonshot for me, for Uncle Milty, needs to be under 100 million market cap. A real moonshot for me is between $5 and $20 million market cap. But why do I like the potential here for Elrond? Well, let's take a look at some of its competitors and where their market cap is at. I've already mentioned Ethereum and Polkadot. Ethereum is in its own class, over $50 billion. We're not even talking about that. Polkadot, over $4 billion. Don't even need to talk about that. But then we get to projects like Cardano, over $3 billion. Cosmos, over $1.2 billion. And even a project like Algorand has over $220 million market cap, double that of Elrond. Personally, I like Elrond better than Algorand, so I think a 2x is minimum. Best case scenario, I could see Elrond starting to compete with the Cardanos of the world. Now, reaching $3 billion would definitely be a Doug Flutie Hail Mary. But even conservatively, I think a 10x or 1 billion market cap for Elrond is definitely doable, and a potential 10x for me is worth a risk. Another thing I love about Elrond is their new tokenomics. Since switching to EGLD, they've really adopted more of a Bitcoin kind of tokenomics. The circulating supply right now is just over 14 million. And even more important than that is that its total supply is just over 20 million. Very similar to Bitcoin. Now, I've heard numbers as big as 34 million over 10 years, but whether it's 20 million or 34 million, we know it's in that range. They've built the tokenomics around scarcity. So really the only question is adoption. Will they be able to get developers to build on Elrond and build the community around it? So far, they've done a pretty good job. Obviously, they have a long way to go, but the tech for Elrond is actually pretty impressive. The features they use to sell the platform are that it is massively scalable. They are using something called adaptive state sharding. It's very similar to what Ethereum has proposed for ETH 2.0 sharding. But it actually combines all three sharding types into a solution that improves communication inside the shards and dramatically increases performance through parallel processing. They are a proof of stake project, meaning you can stake your Elrond to secure the network. And they use something called secure proof of stake, which uses random validator selection and an optimal dimension for the consensus group. The consensus uses an unbiasable randomness. And this randomness makes it much harder for nodes to collude together, which makes the blockchain more safe. As I mentioned before, they have the Elrond VM or Arwin. And what separates their virtual machine is you can build smart contracts using Rust, C, or C++. Really, they claim that you can use whichever language you're familiar with to build smart contracts. And if that is true, that is a huge, huge plus. It's going to create more developer adoption to build dApps using Elrond. As I mentioned, you can compare it to certain other platforms. I'm not even going to bother with Ethereum, but let's see how they compare themselves to Algorand. Again, Elrond has the adaptive state sharding. Algorand doesn't have any kind of sharding. Elrond, the selection is based on a randomness source, where Algorand selection can take much longer. And that is definitely one of the things that Elrond sells themselves on. That is speed of transactions. Whereas Ethereum 1.0 is at about 20 transactions per second right now, Elrond claims that they can get over tens of thousands. If we look at this little chart that compares TPS, transactions per second, you have Bitcoin at 7, Ethereum at 15, Algorand 360, Zilliqa 2500, and then Elrond 10,000. So it is claiming to be one of the fastest blockchains for transactions per second. This is from Coin Bureau's review of Elrond. It's a great read. I highly recommend Coin Bureau's review. He goes through in detail about the technology we've been talking about and talks a little bit about the team and the community, which are also two very important elements. It's a couple of months old, but in terms of the technology portion, it's still relevant. Another site I love to look at is Lunar Crush. This is where you can get an idea of how popular projects are based on social media data. They give each project a galaxy score. Right now, Elrond's galaxy score is 60 out of 100, and its alt rank is 159 out of almost 2,000. Now, this is actually pretty low for Elrond. I feel like it's been sleeping a bit since its mainnet launch, and I love that. That is when I like to invest in projects. Not when they're at peak hype, but when they're either pre-hype or post-hype. We've seen Elrond's galaxy score as high as 73, and now it's down to 60. I think it can easily get up between 70 and 80 again. There's a lot of interest in this project. People are just really waiting for the next big piece of news. Right now, the user experience for Elrond is pretty primitive. This is the Elrond wallet. I'll give you a quick peek just to look inside it. Here it is. I set this up. I put a little bit of EGLD in it just to see how this works. And it's been pretty good so far, but it's still obviously in its beta stage. This is the dashboard. You can send, you can receive pretty easily. Now, I'm not actually staking my EGLD because right now there's actually a limited amount of EGLD that can be staked. So I am on the waiting list delegation, which means that I still get a little bit of rewards for being part of the waiting list. And once room opens up, then my EGLD will be put towards staking. As you can see, here's my total. These are the rewards that I've gotten so far. And here's my waiting list delegation. Nothing too fancy, but it is a working product and I've had no problems with it so far. So no mystery in this video, I already gave it away. Uncle Milty has bought a little bit of Elrond, and yes, a little bit more than that 25 that I showed you. As I always say, CryptoWise is not financial advice. I repeat, CryptoWise is not financial advice. We are just a couple of guys talking crypto. So you do your own research. As I mentioned, the ERD token, before they switched over, pumped big. So even though the price is depressed from its all-time highs, it's still a lot higher than it was a few months ago. So caution. But Uncle Milty is taking the risk. I think the technology is strong enough. I think they've done a good enough job so far at building a community and getting people to build on the blockchain that I think the potential reward is worth it. I bought in around these prices. As soon as we see it spike again towards its all-time high, I will take some profit, then I will ride the rest for the long term. Because after all, this is a Flutie Flakes Hail Mary. So I'm all in on this. Once I take my initial investment out, I'm going to play it out for the long run. I will let it go to zero, or I will ride it until it is one of the top platforms valued at least over $1 billion, but probably 2 or 3 billion in this next bull run. But again, I'm willing to take that risk. It might not see all-time highs again. I might not get my investment back, and I am okay if this goes to zero. Invest at your own risk. This is a Hail Mary, guys. But you tell me, what do you think? Are you a fan of Elrond or not? Do you like the other platforms better? What do you think of Uncle Milty's take on Elrond? Do you think I'm crazy, or do you think I'm onto something? Let me know in the comments. Let's get the crypto chat going. If you found this video useful, please give it a like because that helps other people find it. And of course, subscribe to the channel, become a CryptoWiser. That's all for today's episode. If you have any other questions that I didn't touch on in this video about Elrond, please leave them in the comments as well. I will be back soon with more takes on some more crypto projects. So until then, I'm Milton saying over and out.
Hey, thanks for watching CryptoWise. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.